hear my prayers, because we really, really need you down here. From all the pain that we going through, we know that you're real, so can you fall through? Father, have mercy when we call on you, but I just want to fall on you, to show the devils you ain't nothing to play with. I raised mature enough to say the same shit.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Man, this shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, VG. Need them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. Mama grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'ma back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas, we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the sweet. Jay Ollie do the street. The nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass out the league. He ain't one of us, hit the league. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, bitch, I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we tanks. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit. I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
Outside, you in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside, from the dust to the dawn outside. So when the born outside, I'll catch you wreck when they drawn outside. Cause it's a war outside, my sword drawn outside. This next caliber, you better be all outside. Cause it's a war outside, I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside, and that's a definite. Cannonball, wrecking shit, excellent. Rhyme Barack and bombing like the president. I remain strong, King Kong with the prevalence. I show you exactly what we do, that's how I represent. Hardcore, heaven sent, chain on, hella bent. Throwing all black when they spot me like the leopard print. Oh, I got the braids in, shades on, made men. Cause we put in work to start the earth until they change in. Walk strong, talk heavy, hold my own. You rock solid, or we about to leave the sword, the stone. Nigga, we warriors, hardcore, tracking the deprived to let the Hebrew speak, nigga, general eyes. And we talking super heavy, nigga, that's the surprise. With all scripture, street talk, word to Captain the God, nigga, we blazing, ripping the mic with all facts, doing the knowledge to the max, till we cracking the pavement. UPK, y'all the one West Harlem, nigga. We spring forward and they falling like it's autumn, nigga. Talking to all them niggas born in the mud. If you ain't feeling this, you call them plug, and that's real. Oh, I get the cat tie, or they not of a kind. I get the order that is handle kind, not the one kind. Without a doubt in my mind, I'm finna stop and recline. Anybody that come against us, they should probably resign. It's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. I hate these niggas throwing shots, but can they take some? Christ says, sell out your garments to get a sword now. I'ma go and sell off these polos to get a full now. Damn sure it started the war, but I'ma end it, cause the spiritual war could turn carnal any minute. I remember riding back in the days when no was tinted, but Salaki, I'm done with that carnal shit, I repented. And they bomb-proof the booth every time I'm about to go win it. You ain't know this shit, I live for this truth and I'ma defend it. And I get my second wind just as soon these niggas get winded. It's a war going on outside, I'm jumping in it. It's a war going on outside, you in the crib, but the war outside, I get it on outside. From the dusk to the dawn outside, so in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawn outside. Cause it's a war outside, my sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, you better be all outside. Cause it's a war outside, I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the war outside, I get it on outside.
Nobody's safe, it's a war out here. If you pussy in the streets, you a whore out here. See me all suited up in my fallout gear. 762, slip your fucking car out here. No burner, I still a break your jaw out here. No fear, if you scared, get a motherfucking pit. Or sit up in the church, you a motherfucking bitch. I give you in the verse what I give you in a clip. It's 32 rounds of fire, it never quit. A lot of fuckery going down, so what's the purpose? Sick of hanging around these clowns, get out the circus. If you cross that line, then you get lit up. The worst is all black hearses, tinted with black curtains. Docs on site with medics and mad nurses. Leave us out your verses. You don't want that kind of war, ready for that bullshit. Kinda like a matador. Get this kind of focus, you gon' need some Adderall. Something just to lock you in behind them padded walls. They say I got some screws loose, and that's true too. Don't let me let them wolves through like it's a full moon. It's like I transform the booth to a war room. Come up with a strategy, maximizing your calories. Courage of King David, battling like a Maccabee. Find out who you think that nigga walk to him casually. Then proceed to bar his life away rapidly. Take a knee for your majesty, take it, they hate it savagely. I try leaving rap alone, but I guess that this happened. Keep you grounded like gravity in the field, but it's amity. Horror, I see calamity. Scar you up for my family. Mumble rappers be mad at me. Fuck them up in they faculty. They words sweet, sit in they mouth and causing cavities. Yeah, it's a war, but none of you suckers worry.
It's a war going on outside, you in the crib, but the war outside, I get it on outside. From the dusk to the dawn outside, so in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawn outside. Cause it's a war outside, my sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, you better be all outside. Cause it's a war outside, I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the war outside, I get it on outside.
Shalom, shalom. You said we live, right? Good to go. No, it's all right. Got something from the crib. I keep my cup company for a second minute though. All right. Read the ISUBK. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jimmy Yohana. We're here to teach the truth about these biblical prophecies, man. And I've been seeing a lot of talk going around, you understand, from different outsider groups and fake Israelite groups and Christians and things like that, who have a problem with how, you understand, the truth is being pushed throughout the whole earth. You understand? You know, matter of fact, give a hand to them brothers in Texas, man, for that mission. That mission to, how you say that city? Acuna. Them brothers went down to them borders and they fed them Haitian brothers out. They did that. You understand? But of course, even as glorious as that is, that of course that brings somehow that brings backlash unto the school, because the truth that we're pushing, regardless of the work that we do, of course does not fit everyone's, you understand, persona. It doesn't match with how everyone was raised and the moral values that they may have or the lifestyle that they may want to live. And so they don't quite understand how or why we teach the truth the way that we do. But the problem is this, and I've said this before, right? What we have to understand as a nation of people is that for so long, we have been believing that the life that we live is that of a democracy. We believe that we have a choice, right? Don't we believe in things like pro-choice and pro-life and all of these things and stuff and voting and things like that? We believe in systems, right? That in voting in some man is going to bring about this kind of lifestyle, or voting in some bill or some law is going to bring about this kind of lifestyle. And we believe that our votes matter and that we can manipulate the world that controls us. We think that we can manipulate America. We believe that somehow using our voices and using our votes and our marching and our, what they call it, peaceful protests, that somehow we can manipulate America into loving us, into making our lives better, into making it so that black boys don't get shot in the street 16 times in their back. The problem is this: though Christianity and America's spell may have you to believe that you live in a democracy, you have a rulership that rules over you regardless of what you believe, regardless of what you want. You understand? There is a man or a nation of people who rule over you, and they rule in the way that they want to rule. You understand? Raise your hand if you want black little kids to die in the streets. Nobody raises their hand, but yet it still happens. Police officers still kill us in the street. You understand? No matter how many times we voted, how many times we voted for a new police chief, but yet we still die. How many times we voted for a new senator, but yet we still die, new congressman, right? But yet we still die in the streets of America. And yet we still have not understood as a nation of people the reason that this is such. But here's the reason. The reason is because our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right. And America will never love black people. You understand? And though we believe we live in a democracy, there is a ruler who rules over us, and that ruler hates us. Now, with that being understood, now we can get somewhere. Now we can understand something, right? Because now we can understand
that the nation of people that we submit ourselves to, that same the what they call it, the national anthem, when you're at the football game and the national anthem comes on, what do you see everyone do? They submit themselves under the rulership of that flag. They are pledging their allegiance to the country that they don't agree with. Are y'all starting to get the point now? They're starting to see how stupid Christians are. You march on Friday at a peaceful protest because America ridicules your people, because America murders your brothers in the street, because America kills your sisters in the ghettos. But then on Saturday at some stupid football game, you turn around and pledge allegiance to the same thing that's killing your people. It's stupid. But of course it makes sense to you. Why? Because it doesn't matter what America does. You believe that one day America will change. You believe that one day your vote will be heard and our voices will be heard one day, right? And that America will change and that we'll begin to, to love us and we'll love each other. I guess Martin Luther King's dream will, come to fruition, right? The problem with that idea is that, for one, it'll never happen. You understand? You'll never change America's hatred for you, and you will always live under the rulership of America. Now, here we are in these classes in the ISUPK, and these certain brothers and sisters have a problem with how we do things. They may have a problem with why we speak the way that we speak, or why we dress the way that we dress, or why we say the things that we say, or how we move the way that we move. Well, here's what you got to understand. The same way America give a damn about you peaceful protests on Friday is the same way that Jesus Christ could give a damn about your emotional opinions about what the hell is happening. You understand? Here's what you got to understand about the truth. The nation of Israel does not live in a democracy. We don't give a damn about the people's votes. We care about one thing and one thing only, and that's what our Father in heaven has told us to do. The law, statutes, commandments that he has given us. You understand? And other than that, you can go eat, go do whatever, man. You go kick rocks. That's what they used to say back in the day. You go kick rocks. You understand? This is not a democracy. This is a monarchy. The people that you see on them street corners with them microphones and them poster block boards and that Bible in his hand, these priests are merely men who are enforcing the law. You understand? They're teaching the law, and then you understand. Of course, back in the Old Testament, you would have the Levitical priests who would enforce it. You understand? But that is it. This isn't a what you call those things where all the people come together and talk about different problems. What is it, seminar? Not a seminar. A summit, right? This isn't no damn summit where we come together and say, well, we could take this part of the Bible and we could use this, and why don't we hang off on being soldiers, and why don't we just be good pastor Christian men? This isn't that, man. You understand? We say what we say and we teach what we teach, and that's just what it is, man. Whether you give a damn, whether you like it or not, you understand? Christ could give a damn about your feelings, man. And that's what Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians have to come to understand before that we could get better, man. You understand? Otherwise, you're going to continue to be babied by America up until you end up either dead or in jail, man. Because America teaches you that you have a choice. America teaches you that you have a voice and that you got a right to live the life that you decide that you want to live. And then you go out and you know what we do being stupid Christians in America. You know what we do? We listen. We listen to America. And you know what we do? We go out and we live it. We go out and try to get the American dream by doing what? By selling drugs that America gave us, by toting guns that America put in our community, by using all of the wicked devices that America put in front of us to kill ourselves. We go out and we do it, chasing something that is not real, which is a lifestyle that you choose to live. The Lord didn't create us to do that. You understand? The Lord, if you go and talk to Tom Ford, right? If you talk to people who create vehicles and cars and go and try to ask them, well, why can't my car drive on water? Why can't my car, if I want to, why can't my car fly in the air like an airplane? You know what he would tell you? After looking at you like you was the dumbest Negro on earth, he would tell you because it wasn't built to do that. Our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians was not built or created by God to do the things that we're doing in America, which is why we're dying, which is why we're losing our babies at the rate that we're losing them, which is why our sisters are becoming whores at the rate that they are. Our livelihood is in an all-time turmoil. It is in a great destruction because we are not listening to the man who created us, and we choose to go and do whatever we want to do. We believe in free will. We believe that I can do whatever I want to do, and that is emotional as all hell, man. You understand? And emotions get us killed in the streets every single day. Every single day. You understand? Emotion moves a woman to leave her husband. Every single day, emotion moves a man to beat on his wife. Every single day, emotion moves some daughter who didn't get the Birkin bag that she wanted for Christmas to go run away and get abducted by some man because she's fucking stupid, because she has so much emotion. But of course, how is she wrong? Doesn't America teach you to feed off your emotion? Doesn't America teach you, well, if you believe it, you can achieve it? I bet she believed she could get that Birkin bag. I bet she believed that she was rightfully supposed to have a Birkin bag. So much and so she decided to go off in the streets and she gonna tear something up out there to get it. She gonna achieve that Birkin bag. You understand? Brothers in the street want what? They want to live the American dream. They want to drive in a fancy car, have the nice house, and of course they believe that if they can believe it, they can achieve it. You look at Jay-Z and you look at all these fake gangsters and all of this other bull crap that Hollywood produces and pushes in our communities to have us chasing nothing but death because you're stupid. Because you're stupid. You've got to be some stupid Negro to believe that America will ever love you so much that he'll put you on the same level as him, that he'll give you so much power that your people will be equal to him, if not more powerful than his. You have to be stupid. So then what are you chasing? What are we chasing? You in the streets marching for hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matter. To who? To who? To whom does Black Lives Matter to? What are we chasing? You think our oppressor is going to turn around and say, imagine this. Imagine this is going to be funny, right? Imagine if every goddamn chicken in the world somehow just learned how to pick up a goddamn picket sign and speak. And every chicken in the world turned around tomorrow and said, hand wings up, don't shoot, don't kill us, don't eat us. What do you think? First of all, it'll be an astonishment, of course. But do you think that chickens will not get eaten? Do you think that people are going to say, oh man, there's no more chicken? They're going to eat them chickens out. Nobody's going to give a damn about them goddamn chickens. I am. I'm like, oh shit, this is a talking chicken. This one right here probably tastes extravagant. I'm gonna let him talk for a long time too until he gets of age. I'm like, all right, thought, wow, this nigga getting a little old. We got to get him now. You understand? But if America isn't killing us, then who is America killing? You dealing with a man for 400 years have showed you that for 400 years he cannot stop killing someone. You understand? If it's not us, he over there in Afghanistan blowing somebody's babies to piss. If it's not Afghanistan, he in China or Russia, right? Going to war with somebody because that is the nature of this man who we are under rulership under. You understand? But blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians have to understand this. We do not have a choice but to live our lives in one certain way. There is only one way that we can live our lives and actually live. Now, whether you believe that or not, I could care less. A lot of people believe that this, what do they call this, a movement? That this movement in which these people, these Hebrew Israelites, are going down the street corner trying to teach people is supposedly so that we can reach the masses of people, so that we can reach everybody and bring all black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians in here and sing Kumbaya like we back in the Christian church. You have been far mistaken if that is what you believe. You understand? I give a damn about how many people come in here. I'd rather it be 2 brothers and 1 sister in this room rather than to have 13 faggots sitting up in here with me. I'd rather that. You understand? I'd rather be in this room with 4 people than to be in some stinking Christian church with 1,000 child molesters, with 1,000 gangbangers and 1,000 rapists and 1,000 pedophiles and 1,000 homosexuals. I'd rather be in here with just 4, with 4 men and 4 women who will not look at my children to molest, who will not look at my brothers to get over on, to rob from, to lie to. You understand? I'd rather stand with them, men who are non-emotional, men and women who understand that there is only one way that we can live, and it's the way by following what Christ has taught us, man, and this Bible. I'd rather stay with them. While the rest of the world, that they can debate over which way of life is correct. Yeah, we understand how long that debate will last, right? How long have you known for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians to try to figure out which lifestyle is the life that we ought to live? What did it start with? The Marcus Garvey. It started there. Then it went to what? Was it the Black Panthers after that? Well, the Nation of Islam. Then the Black Panthers. Then fuck the conscious community as a whole. We've been trying to delegate and decide how we should live our lives for years in America, but yet we still don't understand that there is no way except one. As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we believe that it could be many ways. We believe that we could come together and we can all have different ideas and different beliefs, and some people could want to sleep with 12-year-old children, and some people cannot like that, and some people could want to gangbang. Some people could be disagree with it. Some of us could smoke weed, and some of us could disagree with smoking weed, and that somehow it'll still work. When there's nowhere in history where you have ever seen that happen. Nowhere in history where you have ever seen a group of people have a rebellion or come together as a nation without being on one accord. It has never happened. You understand what you got?
Shalaki. Mm-hmm. When was there a time in the Allah? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Come.
Shalaki. When was there a time in the Bible where would you look in the Bible if you want to see an example of a strong ass brotherhood and when it existed? What time? When we were not fucking up, Shalaki, when we were not making issues.
When we were not making issues, when Israel was just all good.
Yeah, exactly. Was there ever a time Israel had it all good with all 12 tribes?
From all 12 tribes?
Yeah, or has it always been never too wild? Never. We've never had a kingdom where everybody was all good.
And now you want to be careful with that question, right? Mm-hmm. Because when you say everybody was all good, that's like saying there was not a murderer amongst Israel.
No. I mean, just what is an example as far as brotherhood class? What is the example where people, other brothers can look and say, okay, that's what a brotherhood needs to look like?
Give me the book of Exodus, right? Give me where Moses came back down from Mount Sinai and he asked, who was with me? I'll give you a great example of when we was all good. That's a beautiful question, though.
What?
I'll give you a great example. That falls right into my topic of how much of a fuck we don't give about people who don't who think that we speak too rough, or that we're too militant, or the women have to be in submission. This is a great scripture for that. Let's get there. Salaki for my language again. If anybody else online, Salaki, I forgot to mention, if anybody online has any questions, just type the questions into the chat.
Salaki, sir. Mm-hmm. I think the men being too aggressive movement that I hear people talking about is just because there's so many, you know what I do for a living. There's so many effeminized men that when they see a man who's uncompromising, who stands for something, who got zero tolerance for the bullshit, it's considered over aggressive because there's so many homosexuals, and there's so many effeminized men. Every state you go to, every city you go to, every mall, anywhere you go, you're gonna see more black men effeminized than any other man. Period. White, Asian, Mexican, Samoan, Indian. There's more effeminized black men than any other nation I've ever seen, and that's everywhere. You feel me?
God. Yeah, but we effeminize. Why?
Because of Black Lives Matter.
Because we emotional, right? Because we have our emotions in tune with the lifestyle that we want to live, right? If we weren't emotional, nobody would give a damn about what Dave Chappelle said. If we weren't emotional.
Salaki, sir.
Good.
I also that the men just they think it's easier to be a bitch. I mean, Salaki, not a bitch, but like a sucker. They're easier to be a sucker than it is to stand up and say, fuck white supremacy, the white man's the devil, and just have discipline to be able to get rid of the habits that you picked up as a kid. I think men just think it's easy, take the easier route to be a sucker, basically.
In a way, you could say it, you could put it in that way, of course, right? But it's a lot easier to deny the fact that you have an enemy. Because if you accept or if you acknowledge the fact that we have an enemy, then that would force black people to then have to fight. Simple as that. Let me see. Might be there. Can't read that one. This? Oh.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 16 and verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, and the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they, verse 3, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. Verse 4, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. Verse 5, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. Verse 6, this do, take you censers, Korah and all his company. Verse 7, and put fire therein.
Put what?
Fire therein.
Put fire there and keep going.
And put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. Verse 8, and Moses said unto Korah, Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? Verse 10, and he hath brought thee near to him and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also?
Drop that. Give me Exodus 32.
32 and what, sir?
28.
Okay.
Well, start at verse For 25.
Exodus 32 and 25.
Con.
Count. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 32, Slakia, in verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies.
So what does it mean for them to be naked? You got one?
Shalaki, I hope it's not what they're talking about. Maybe without a weapon, naked, without a weapon.
That's a lot. I mean, that would be a term like today, right? But in this context, what does it mean for them to be naked?
Like it's still not literal. Like they wasn't walking around with no clothes on, but you know what I'm saying, they were naked in terms of the fact that they didn't have their proper covering on. You know what I'm saying? Covering being the laws of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like they had putting on a covering of something else. They was doing something that was against them. They were without their law, therefore they were naked.
And what was it that they did? Right? Remember, Moses came down from the mountain and seen what?
It's like worshiping a golden calf.
They were worshiping a golden calf. To do what? The golden calf was for what? Hold your peace, right? The golden calf was the gods of Egypt.
Right.
It was the gods of Pharaoh, right? And they wanted to go back to Egypt. And so they had a golden calf, which took them away from the Lord who had just freed them, right? What you had?
Shalaki, I was just asking it to keep it relevant to the brotherhood when it was all good. When was there a time? Was there ever a time, yes or no, where it was all good amongst 12 tribes?
I'm answering that question. They worshiping the gods of Egypt at this time, right? And so here we have what? What are you seeing? You're seeing one side who is saying that we should do what? We should follow the laws of God.
Right.
The gods of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Our Father in heaven. This is who we should be listening to, right? And then you have other people who are what? Emotional. Right. They are saying what? Think about, I'm trying to paint the picture for you so you understand what's happening, right? During this time, we had just left Egypt, in which we were enslaved in Egypt. But in Egypt, we had what? We had homes. We had water. We had food. We had parties. We had jobs. We had liquor. Right. We had drugs. We had access to games and different entertainment and whatever we had, whatever they had in Egypt, we had access to it. We were living amongst the Egyptians.
So like, if I may, I think a good example would be, think of it like, because we went to the wilderness. So think of it like you live all your life in New York or Los Angeles or Chicago, and then you got to go to like Tupelo, Mississippi.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you have access to none of the things that you had. Like,
right.
None of that. It's lucky.
Right. Or better yet, let's say America gets destroyed tomorrow.
Right.
Right. Now, you don't have food stamps. There is no Walmart. There isn't no South Point Mall. Right. There isn't a casino. Right. There isn't an ABC store. There isn't no car wash. There's nothing except you and the men amongst you, right? Which means what? Wi-Fi. Huh? No Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi. Which means what? You know who will be the saddest in that day? Our sisters. Right. Our women would be the saddest in that day because they would then know the importance of having a what? A husband.
That's right.
They would then cry.
That's right.
And they would probably be looking everywhere like, let me,
right.
Give me get somebody.
Right.
You understand? There's a goddamn bear down the street. I'm not about to go deal with it. My y'all called me the other day. Called me yesterday on his way to work. He's like, yo, the fucking bear out here. On his way to work. I'm like, shit, better shoot that motherfucker. I don't know what. I'll probably shoot if I seen a bear. But a woman would be sad in that day, right? Because she allowed her emotions to make her believe that a man was something that was useless here in America. Brothers would be sad in that day because we don't have the things that we had that kept us afloat. And now here we are after leaving Egypt, and the same thing is happening. People are having to think about going without, right? And so now their emotions are setting into play. And emotion says what? Why did you leave the place where you had a home? Why did you leave the place where you had a job, where you was making money and you had child support and food stamps and government assistance and public transportation? Why would you leave that to go be in these goddamn woods with Moses? Keep going. And so they were naked, right? Naked, the same way Adam and Eve was naked in the garden, right? They had taken on the customs of other nations. They were not in the spirit of the Most High.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp
Uh-huh.
and said, who is on the Lord's side?
So Moses stood in the gate of the camp. Who else does this? Who else goes into the midst of the people? Who else goes to New York Times Square and stand in the gate of New York Times Square? Who else goes to the major cities and the major complexes all across the globe and stands in Times Square and says, come get a flyer if you're going to stand with the Lord?
That's right.
Who else does that? The ISUPK under Commander
right.
General Yohana, right? Let's see. Let's see what Moses, let's see what now, you know what happens at camp.
Right.
What happens at camp? You get some brothers, yeah. Remember, like Azahab,
Right.
Azahab, and now you can see Azahab in one of them Tazariak videos in New York. I think it's New York, and he's just a nigga.
Right.
He's just, you can see him. He get different hairstyle and everything. He just stand in the video. You like, nigga, is that?
Right.
It's him. He's in the video, and he's one of those brothers who he's hearing Moses. He's hearing Tazariak, and he's going to choose.
Right.
Right? Keep going.
Gone. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side?
Uh-huh.
Let him come unto me.
Let him come unto me. If you with the Lord, then you be inside the ISUPK.
That's right.
That's up to you. Keep going.
And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves unto him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. And he said unto them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother.
And do what?
Slay every man his brother.
No, go calculate the votes.
Slay every man his brother.
Now let's just try to be a little bit less militant for some people.
And slay every man his brother.
Keep going.
And every man his companion.
Keep going.
And every man his neighbor.
Keep going.
Verse 28. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses. And there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
After that day, we was good.
Damn right.
We was fine. We were good to go.
Shalaki, you said after the Haitians slaughtered all of them, it was good after that.
After the Haitians slaughtered all of them, we were good. Because then you were left with men who followed the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's
so,
right.
So, I was just going to say, it seems like the most logical thing. It may sound wrong, but it seems the most logical thing to do today, too, is slaughter all the motherfuckers who ain't with the program. You know what I mean? And then the real men stand. Because most of them already made their choice that they want to be faggots, suckers, people who are undisciplined, satanic, Masons, whatever. You know what I mean? Most of them already made their own thing. You know what I mean? Made their own path. Right. It makes sense to just get rid of them so we can stand strong, because really they're bad representations of us. Now you got all these black men, and people have a fucked up idea of when they look at black men and they think that like, I got to deal with people all the time. I got to let them know that I'm not that type of black man that you think I am. You feel me? Like, I'm a different type of black man because we're outnumbered. You know what I'm saying? And we outspoken. It's like only time we got a voice is in our ISUPK. You feel me?
Yeah. Or what you got to understand is this, right? Because what they did back then was during the time of Moses. Christ came back and he brought the order of what? He came with the order of Melchizedek. Right. Meaning what? Meaning the Levitical priests are no longer here, right? But what Christ taught and what Moses taught still stands. So we're still asking if you're going to stand with us. And here's the thing that brothers and sisters in the world don't understand. Even though there isn't a Levitical priest that comes and slaughters you because you committed adultery or because you committed homosexuality, There is a thing called AIDS that will kill you.
That's right.
Right? There's a thing called gun violence that will kill you. There's a thing called abortion that kills us. There's a thing called police brutality that kills us. There are things that the Lord has set up in this place of our captivity that kill us if we decide to not follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And of course, in the entirety, in the end, Christ will be the last sword that's drawn for this in this place. He will come and he'll do the killing. However, what you have to understand is we can't go and kill them.
Why not?
Because then someone would have to kill you.
Anybody? What do you mean? Why would they kill me? I'm a righteous brother.
How?
Righteous. I
How?
stick to the law, statutes, and commandments.
How?
What you mean? I ain't eating shrimp. I ain't fucking on bitches. I ain't smoking weed. I ain't shooting my brothers. I'm loving my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking to the script.
If you go kill them, is that sticking to the script?
Listen, Salakia, sir.
That's
These motherfuckers is no good. They're not too wise, sir.
Is it a sin to murder someone or is it not?
I don't know.
It is. It is a sin to murder someone.
It is.
It is. So if you go and murder someone, shouldn't that mean that someone should murder you?
You're saying it's a sin for us to murder somebody?
It is a sin for you to murder anyone. Yes.
I never knew that. I didn't grow up in the church. I just heard people say that, but how's it
The
a
Christian
sin?
church doesn't understand what that means.
But how is it a sin when you just, that's like everything dies. Everything gets killed. Nature kills everybody.
Everything does what?
Everything dies and everything gets killed.
It gets what?
Tigers kill lambs.
They do what?
They kill.
They do what?
They kill.
We're not talking about killing. I said murder. There is a difference. You walk outside this door, you're liable to step on a roach. You killed the roach. That is not murder.
What do you say? Murder's premeditated?
No. Murdering, taking a gun and shooting a man in the street is murder.
Salaki, is it murder if you killing all the faggots? Excuse me, if you killing all the homosexuals, you killing all the motherfuckers who's selling drugs, you killing all the people who's beating the shit and molesting all of our kids, you kill all the motherfuckers who's lying to all of our people and all these pastors, and you kill all the motherfuckers who know the truth and they still cigarette. How's that bad?
Because murder is unlawful killing. That's what murder is. It is a killing that is unlawful. That's murder. Stepping on a roach is killing it, but it's not unlawful. If a man comes inside of your house and tries to rape your daughter and you kill him, that is not murder. That is a lawful killing. It is lawful into the eyes of God. It is lawful unto America. You didn't murder anyone. You're not going to prison for murder because you didn't murder. You practice your right in self-defense. It is a lawful killing.
So, like, sir, is there a time period that we have to wait for these brothers to get their head screwed on tight?
We got the same time period you got.
Right.
Like, here's what you got to understand. There was only one man who walked this earth who was deserving of anything that we're asking for. You understand? And that's Christ. If we were going to go kill the homosexuals and the gangbangers and the Christians, then we would understand we would have to die too. How many times have you eaten shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster? How many times have you gotten tattoos? How many times have you slept with white women or African women? How many times have you celebrated Christmas or Halloween or Thanksgiving? How many times have you smoked a blunt or smoked anything? How many times have we done anything that was not righteous? For all of those things that we have done, you should be dead. You should have died. How many brothers and sisters do you know who could say the same thing? Man, I didn't know if I was going to make it to 21. Because you should be dead. Because of how many drugs you sold, how many men you've killed, how many cases you've beaten due to lack of evidence and lack of witnesses and lack of statements. You should be dead. But Christ is giving you a chance. Right. He's giving you a grace period. He's giving you the same chance that he gave you, that he's giving you. He's giving them the same chance that he gave us, that he gave Commander General Yohana to change his life. And so who would we be if we condemned them when Commander General Yohana didn't condemn us? Right. Who would we be to condemn them when Christ didn't condemn us? Because Christ died for us without doing anything.
So
hold on. Christ died without even sleeping with a woman. He didn't even get a chance to have a wife because his life was devoted to saving ours.
So you're telling me Yahushua never had a woman?
No, he did not have a wife. But that is besides the point. The point is he didn't have a wife for us so that we could live, so that you could be here today and breathe and go out to West Hollywood and LA and do the stuff that we do. Christ had to die and be tortured so that we could live. Because if he didn't, we would have all been cut off from the Most High.
So basically, everybody get a chance to tell Yahushua return, basically.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians get a chance. Yes. They get a chance to change their life. However, if they don't change their life, then when Christ comes back, the scriptures say what? That 2/3 of them shall be cut off forever, meaning they will die. Good.
And if I may, that's the long-term result. You know what I'm saying? But you can easily
die now.
Yeah, you can easily get AIDS today. You can easily die from gun violence. You can easily die of some horrible thing right now. You get what I'm saying? The Most High issue your punishment whenever he feels like it. You know what I'm saying? But the point is not to waste time. You know what I'm saying? It's not to wait till, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get myself together. Next week, I'm going to get my life together and stop eating this pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. I'm going to follow the men above me next, you know what I'm saying? Next month, I'm going to get that right. You know what I'm saying? You want to get you today because tomorrow a bullet can soar through your skull tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So like you saying, like that punishment can come. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Right. Like what was that movie? Menace to Society. Right. Menace to Society. He do bad all his life. But his granddad asked him, right? Do you care whether you live or die? His granddad was probably a priest, nigga. His granddad was asking him, like, think about what you're doing, right? And he decided to go do what? He decided to live the life he wanted to live. But then the day he wanted to change his life, what happened? Too late. He ain't have to wait for Christ to come back.
So like,
he ain't have to wait for Christ to come back to die. Many brothers don't have to wait for Christ to come back to die. How do you know? Because they're dying. How many babies are killed by our sisters every year in the abortion clinic? Over 400,000 every single year. And just in the Blacks, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community alone. We don't have to wait to die. We're dying as is. Now, if you want to save your life, you could choose to stand with Moses, or you could choose to stand with the rest of the niggas who wanted Christianity, Islam, right? You could choose to stand with that. However, no, I'm still 12. However, it makes us no never mind. I give a damn what anybody chooses. What you got?
Salakia, sir. What about where fear? You know, what about it doesn't apply to a lot of people who don't even fear death? How does that apply to ones who don't fear death?
It doesn't. You don't have to be scared to die. You know that, right?
Like Yahushua returning and that being the threat. Like if you're gonna die, well, what about people who live their life like every day? Like shit, we could die any day, so it don't even matter.
Then they could live that life, right? Like think about it like this: our oppressor lives his life in his heaven, and he gets to live his life in heaven and go to what you call it? What's that thing in Florida? The Disney World. He gets to go and have skyscrapers and towers and build a military and be a military power. He gets to do anything he wants to do in life, right? Just because Christ is coming back to destroy their empire, do we ask them to change the way that they're living? White people ask us what should they do? They should keep living, keep going to Walt Disney World and eating caviar and Dovors and keep ruling the world. So like keep living. And so for any brother or sister in the world who wants to live his life because he doesn't fear death and he wants to be a wicked bastard, then keep doing it. You should. That's the life you should live.
I'm saying, Salaki, they're gonna die anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggie on waiting until Yahushua returns to kill? Is he got like a tormentive kill? Does he got like a super? You know what I mean?
This brother, right? Yeah.
You don't understand. I come from a different mentality. You know what I mean? I come from a different mentality where people don't kill.
That's why you heard that, man.
No. Salaki.
They say he got a super kill.
No, I'm saying like where I'm from, people don't even care if they die or not. So if you tell them if you keep doing what you're doing and Yahushua is gonna return and kill you, they're gonna be like, I don't give a shit. I'm about to die in the next 3 hours anyway.
Then die. We don't give a shit. You
I'm just
understand?
saying it's not applicable. It wouldn't be a relevant convincing. It
Brother,
wouldn't be relevant.
if there's a man who is in the world and he's given the option to live and not die when Christ comes back to stop selling drugs, then he can live, or he can decide to continue selling drugs. He could say, well, I'm gonna die anyway, and I'm just gonna keep selling drugs. And then guess what? Then he'll just die.
Okay. So like, do we live forever when he come back? Yahweh Shah.
Well,
So
let me not answer that question. We will live differently, meaning like back in biblical times, we live like, how old was Noah? 906? Con, yeah, no sweat. How old was he? 906? Was somewhere around that. Meaning we will live differently. Our lives will be different. We will not die at the age of 21 like we die now because of police brutality, because we will be in the new kingdom. You understand? Our livelihood will be different, right? And we'll also be in rulership, which is why brothers who are living in the world, you understand, if you don't want to rule, that's no sweat.
So we get a guarantee like 800, 900 years is what you're saying.
I'm not saying guarantee. I'm telling you that your life will be different. You'll be able to live better. Meaning you'll, like, put it like this. Even when you die, you always come back. So whether you die at 50 years old or 80 years old, the difference will be that when you die and come back, you'll die and come back in rulership. Your parents will be ruling.
And they'll die and come back.
They'll be janitors. They'll be like the nation of Israel. Everyone will die, but they'll come back. They'll come back, but who they come back as, right? Meaning they won't be the elect in the kingdom of heaven. They won't be of the ruling families of the kingdom of heaven. They would have chosen to be.
So the homosexuals, all the cats who's the gangbangers, where everybody who's doing something, will they come back and be in servitude? Will they come back? No. They just come back and be like a low level.
Right. Just like you got white people who are rich. You got Bill Gates and his family and all of them who's rich and they run America. But then you also got the poor white people who live in a trailer park, who they ain't nothing. What they call them? White trash, rednecks and white trailer park trash. Those would be your TD Jakes, your Creflo Dollar, right? Your Al Sharptons, your Jesse Jacksons. Martin Luther King is going to come back and he's going to be a janitor at my school. I'm going to give him a janitor's position because he's black. That's the only reason. Not because he's smart, not because he comes from a royal family, not because of nothing other than the fact that he's of the nation of Israel from the tribe of Judah. I'm going to give this nigga a janitor's position at my job. He'll be above white people, but he ain't going to be that much far above.
You don't think that, last question, sir, because I want to let you continue. Mm-hmm. You don't think that people hear that in the world and they be like, well, shit, I ain't tripping. That's not that bad. I could be a millionaire, billionaire right now. I could do everything I want to, and I just have to come back as a janitor. That's how niggas think.
That's good.
Niggas think like that.
That's good. You understand? Just like here's the thing that we got to start understanding. If there wasn't villains in movies and superhero movies, would superhero movies be good? If there was no Joker to match the Batman, would anybody care about what the fuck Batman is doing? Nobody would. If there wasn't no what's another one, man? I don't be watching all the little superhero shows. All right, what's another one? If there was no conflict of interest, no one would care. The Lord is directing the greatest movie on the face of the planet Earth, and he's going to see it play out. There has to be TD Jakes. He has to be here. Creflo Dollar has to be here. So when he dies, all of the people who decided to turn their back on Christ, they'll see it. They'll realize that they failed and they lost. It has to happen. Otherwise, don't you think, let's put it like this. Why is there evil in the world? If the Lord is this all-powerful God who created heaven and earth and all things living and creeping in the depths of the ocean and in the fowls in the air, and he created human beings and he has the power to do anything he wants, why wouldn't he just make everybody good? Why wouldn't he just snap his fingers and boom, everybody just follows the law? White people, Chinese people, African people, everybody live in harmony and unity. Why doesn't he do that? Remember, we're talking about the same guy who would send his son to crack the sky open with 200 million angels to come and put America to death. You telling me this same man cannot change the minds and the hearts of people across the globe and just make them follow the law? He could, couldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Why doesn't he do it? You may not have to know a precept for this.
Well, if he did that, he wouldn't know who's really Tawab and who ain't. Who's really making the effort to be Tawab.
That's a great answer. That's not the one I was looking for, but give him a hand. Give him a hand. That's a great goddamn answer. That's not what I was looking for, though, right? But what's the more simple answer? You may have to know a precept for it. Who are we talking about here? Remember, Christianity doesn't really teach us who it is that we're talking about. But in here, you know that the Lord that we follow is what? He's black. Anybody else want to take a shot? If I give it the thought one, I know. Go ahead. The Lord that we worship is what?
It's like right before
Christianity. Because of Christianity, we don't know who the Lord is. We don't know who God is. We don't know who Christ was, what they were like. But now being taught in the truth, we know that the Lord is a what? A warrior. Close. Very close. Dawan.
The Lord, God, the Most High, is a racist.
He was closer. No, it's not funny because the Lord is a racist, right? But think about the word that you used. The Lord is a what?
Gangster.
No.
A soldier.
He is. But he is a what? Think about the precept.
You already read it, or you want to wait?
It's one that you don't really need to even pull it. You know
a
it.
Savior, a priest.
You know it. You know it. The Lord is a what?
Man of war.
He's a man of war.
Oh.
The Lord is a man of war, right? You got to, this for y'all got to know these terminologies, these precepts, because you can't say the Lord is a soldier, right? Because a Christian will do what? He'll say, well, show me where the Lord is a soldier, right? The Bible doesn't necessarily say that the Lord is a soldier, but the Bible verbatimly says the Lord is a man of war.
So, like, can I get that scripture?
I got you. Yeah, Exodus 15:3. Can Exodus 15:3.
The water.
Right. Read it. Yeah, you can for the brother's sake.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, and verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is a man of war. You understand? So you wonder why everything in life is so terrible. Why life seems like it's always a battle and it's always a fight. Well, it's because the man who created us is a man of war. He wants to see a fight. You got some more?
It's like the Lord is his name.
The Lord is his name. You understand?
The water. So I've never heard that in my life, but that's crazy. It's right there.
Yeah, keep coming. Pause. You understand? The Lord is a man of war, man. And that's why we are who we are. That's why Moses slaughtered those men. You understand? Because Moses followed who? He followed the Most High. You understand? And the Lord is a man of war. So yeah, you need T.D. Jakes. You need Creflo Dollar. You need an oppressor to be the devil that the Bible speaks of. Because the Lord wants somebody to kill. It's like what you call it, man? It's like, imagine if people grew farms, right, of animals just so they could have game to hunt. It's like that, right? You'll see the man raising up lions and raising up bulls and different animals, and he's caring for them, and he's nurturing it, and he's letting it grow. And you would ask, well, if the man is going to slaughter these animals, then why is he feeding it? Why is he allowing these animals to grow? Why is he allowing America to get bigger and bigger and stronger and more powerful? It's because the bigger the game, the bigger the hunt, the bigger the glory, and it is when he tears it down. You understand? The scriptures say what? That the Lord puffed up Pharaoh's heart. He made him, he puffed him up. He made him to swell, right? His pride was so high just so he can do what? bring him down to the ground. He allowed him to get so puffed up just so when he killed him and killed his babies and killed his people and flooded his whole nation of people underneath the Red Sea, people would still talk about it here in 2021. Something that happened thousands of years ago. That's what the Lord is.
That's right.
You understand? He wanted to be extravagant when he cracked them skies open, man. And it will be. Right? Drop that. Is there any other questions on that?
One last question, Salaki.
Go ahead.
So that says that in the Christian people's Bible too, because there's like a gang of different versions of the Bible.
Brother, the Bible that is in your Christian church, the King James Version, is the one that we read it from.
So it says it in their Bible
It
too?
says it in their Bible. Wow. Everything that we're reading says it in their Bible.
The water, sir.
No sweat. You understand? We got any questions online, Thubba One?
Sir.
Shalom, Lord Christ, One. St. Michael Jamal. St. Michael Jamal, brother, I seen you online, man. You've been commenting a whole lot. Salakia, my bad, I've been missing it. So you got a question. What's your question? Go ahead, type your question in the chat. I know, I just thought about that. We on the same mind. I just thought about that. I'll give you a second to write that question down.
Salaki, we did whoop the Romans at least one time, right? With the Battle of Maccabees that we're celebrating next month.
Yeah.
No. Did we ever whoop white people in the history?
Yes.
That's all I need to hear. All right,
Whooped a lot of people in history out.
But we did whoop the white people, at least Israel, whooped white folks.
That's all we talking about. We whooped a lot. We whooped the Palestinians too.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay, we do that in like next Brotherhood class or something. Did we whoop them as a brotherhood, or was it just one person, like versus a whole? You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
I just want to hear about Salaki. I want to hear about great things that we did as a brotherhood in war.
I got you.
If I may,
I got you.
I'm so glad you said that, brother, because what we actually have coming up, our next feast day is the Feast of Hanukkah, which means the dedication. That feast is literally, it's about us commemorating us beating devils to death. And it was one brother, because the Lord always deals with one man. It was one brother named Mattathias, who, while other Israelites was like, let's do one thing, he was like, no, we fighting against these, we fighting this. And so just at the end of the month, November 28th, next month,
and that was the scripture I was going to bring out too as well. We got a brother online, man. He's going to ask a question, if you could. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna end the live because it's gonna time out in a minute, and I'm gonna come back. All right, so this hop back in.
What was Salaki? What was his name? Mattathias. Mattathias of Judah.
Yeah.
The what?
I'm gonna try to get the brother back up in here. You said there was no questions online, right?
Not on the Facebook or the YouTube. We, of course, have a new YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that. 12 Tribes NC. Like, share, and subscribe.
Okay.
Salaki. Speak eloquently, Salaki.
Can you take that and like put the microphone to it? Go ahead, brother. If you can hear me, you go ahead with your question.
Okay, brothers. I just want to first I want to say I want to thank you, brother, because I've been following you a year or so, and
where you if I could not to interrupt you, where you from? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My actual name is Gerald Smith. I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Okay, Most High in Christ.
Okay, now my question, I just want to know, brothers are aware of the contract system that we are in America that actually enslaves us.
Can you read that, brother?
I want to know if brothers are aware of the contract system of the fact that we are sold into slavery when we are born into the system, and then until we get that done correct, we die like we'll forever be slaves into the system. Even if we follow the command, we're gonna have to go to our enemy for our clothes, for our food, for our shelter. And it's like until we set ourselves away from this system the proper way through proper documents, they're gonna forever have us trapped. So I just wanted to educate brothers on that. For instance, when you're born, the government issues you a security number, just like an employee number. Your mother signs it, and then she gives it over to the government. That right there gives the government the right over your entire entity.
It went out.
Was there any?
Before I came into the light, brothers, I was studying contract law.
You got any more of that, brother? The brother's gonna answer your question. Did you have is that the end of your statement, or did you have more you wanted to add to it before the brother goes and responds?
No, that's about it.
Got the water for that. Appreciate it.
So with the brother, for those who probably couldn't hear, and for what the brother was saying, and I'm gonna leave you on for a second just in case you want to rebuttal a lot. All right. But what the brother basically is asking, right, is if we are aware of the contract laws that America has set in place to make sure that blacks, Hispanics, and the American Indians stay in slavery, right? Because of when you are born, you're given a social security number, and the different laws that they may have set up and in place are what is going to keep us enslaved until we find a way to maneuver around those laws and remove us from slavery, right? Now, as well as that may seem, right? There's only one problem with that. There is nothing on this planet Earth that is going to free us from slavery except Christ coming back and putting them to death.
That's right.
There's nothing. Because this man that we're dealing with is a beast. You understand? Let me tell you something that America does. America and his policy and his law, he will create a peace treaty with Native American Indians and then turn around and kill 77 million of them. You understand? So paperwork is what some people believe is what strengthens them. They believe in paperwork and laws and voting and things like that. When we have seen time and time again how America gives a damn about his own paperwork. He does not care about a law that he has. He is still going to try to enslave us. He is still going to kill us in the street because we're black. You understand? It doesn't matter what kind of card you have. It doesn't matter what kind of identification you have. It doesn't matter what kind of degree you have. It doesn't matter about any kind of social norm that you have or that you practice. If America sees the color of your skin and he knows that you are a slave to him, if you step out of line or if he feels like it one day, he is going to murder you because he is a murderous beast. He is a monster. And so the only way for blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians to get out of slavery is to follow the law, statutes, commandments, and pray for Christ to come and put them to death, man. That's the only way. You understand? And not only that, what we got to start understanding is this. We have to stop as a nation of people thinking selfishly. Because even though we may believe that, with paper and all of that stuff is tawab. I'm not telling nobody that if you can't go in the government system and figure out some kind of way to, get $10,000 of food stamps every month. Don't do it. Go ahead and fucking do it if that's what you. Hey, I'm just saying, just in general, if you can figure out some kind of way to legally manipulate something and do it, go do it. Whatever, take whatever they got because they owe it to us any goddamn way. However, you understand this man, this beast on this earth, man, all he wants to do is murder us. And what you said something that was very heavy, and I'm gonna pull a precept for that. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 48, right? I'm gonna show you why we are in this condition. You understand? Like what we have been lacking for 400 years in America is righteous leadership. We have had the same problems, the same concerns, the same, you understand, death toll, everything that's bad with blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, we've had it. And yet we have not known the reason for it. You understand? We have not known why we're going through the things that we're going through. Why is it that black people die at the rate that we die? Why is it that black people make up 13% of the population of America in whole, but yet we lead in the prison system. Yet we lead in AIDS and HIV. Yet we lead in heart disease and gout. We lead in black on black crime. We lead in abortion deaths. You understand? We lead in everything bad, but yet we the least amount of people here. You understand? And so we never understood that the answers for how to fix these problems is right in front of us. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Therefore what? Go to verse 47.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God, because you decide to live a lifestyle that you want to live. Because you decide that you want to smoke weed and sleep with white women and prostitute whores, right? Because we decide not to serve our Lord thy God. Keep going.
Servest not thou, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies. You're going to serve white people in America, man, because of the things that we decided to do, because our disobedience to the Lord. Keep going.
Which the Lord shall sin against thee.
Because who? Let's read that part again.
Which the Lord shall sin against thee.
The Lord sent them against us. You understand? Get this straight. Our oppressor isn't in rulership because he's better than us. He's not in rulership because he's stronger than us. He doesn't kill us because he can fight better than we can fight. We're better. We're stronger than our oppressor. Isn't that not what Genesis says? You understand? That one people will be mightier than the other, right? We're mightier than our oppressor. The only reason that we're in this condition is because the Lord is putting us in this condition. And if the Lord is putting us in this condition, read my mind. Give him a hand. He's the only one who can take us out. Keep going.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
And in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. What the brother just say? He just said we forever got to go to him for food, clothing, housing. What the Bible just say? That we are going to be in want of all things. Right? Nakedness, our clothing, hunger, our food, everything that we need, we're going to be in need of our oppressor to have, right? Which means that maybe that we should learn to follow these laws, statutes, commandments, and come back to the Most High. You understand? Keep going. But was that it? Was that it, Doc? All right, no sweat, man. If you got something else, just chime back in. All right, no sweat. Sit down. Go ahead.
Shalakia, even though we were relying on this European or this Edomite for everything, we should obviously be preparing for us to be able to be self-sufficient, correct? We still should be preparing ourselves to be self-sufficient and intellectually independent, think for ourselves and not as the Edomite wants us to think. Because as of right now, people without no culture, nationality, everything they think is just like the Edomite wants them to think. He pretty much engineers their thoughts. You know what I mean?
And that's what we're doing here. You understand? We'll build this. Christ said this, that the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's inside of you. You understand? You are the one who will bring the kingdom of heaven. If there was ever a place in time where you could go where black people could come together without killing each other, it'll be because you'll be the black people who won't kill each other. It'll be because of you. That'll be the place. You want to see the neighborhood filled with black people who don't kill each other and don't rob each other and don't murder each other. That place will only exist because you built it. That's it. That's what we're being taught in here under Commander General Yohana, is how to build that place. But you can't build the place if you're still selling drugs. You can't build it if you're still smoking weed. It won't work. You understand? Which is why this is what is important first. You have to build those soldiers before you can go to war. You can't go to war with soldiers who's half built. You'll lose. You understand? Keep going. I'll read what you got. I mean, Salaki. Go ahead.
Salaki. So I need some scriptures in the Bible that tell me like the duties of the brothers, like, you know, like what brothers is obligated to do to be brotherly.
What you mean?
Where does it say in the Bible their version of loyalty or following orders or anything? You know what I mean?
Everywhere.
It is it's
Everywhere.
all over.
I give you a couple. Like if you want to help me out, man. Let me get. Give me forgive these 77.
Okay.
Loyalty. So lucky. Hopefully the scripture says something about loyalty.
You just seen loyalty with Moses. Like, they didn't choose loyalty. They didn't choose Moses, who had just freed them from captivity. They chose the Egyptians.
Right.
And of course, you've seen what the lack of loyalty did to them. You got what you got.
Counts. Like I was just putting down a precept as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another one, but you get the one you want first.
Yeah, no sweat.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him?
So Peter said, how many times is this nigga gonna leave me hanging? How many times is this nigga gonna step on my shoe? How many times he gonna say something out of order to me? How many times is he gonna do something to me that I don't like and I have to keep forgiving him? This nigga done said something to me 3 times, Tabawan.
Right.
And you tell how many times do I got to forgive him? Because in the world where I come from, I would have been ended him. I would have been took him off of here. He would have been done. But you telling me I gotta forgive him.
That's right.
And this is what Peter hothead is asking. He asking Christ because Peter was a hothead.
The same one
that chopped the ear off.
Yep.
Peter was a gangster. He's like, who the hell is this nigga right here? I gotta hold on one second. He's like, who the hell is this? And I gotta keep forgiving. Peter is trying to change his life. Peter is coming from a world of crime and drugs and drought and abuse. And he's a gangster seeing this nigga Christ, and he's trying to learn and change his life. He's trying to be a new brother. He's trying to be a righteous man under Christ. And he's like, well, nigga, I'm still a gangster. How many times do I gotta forgive this man? Keep reading.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times?
Till 7 times. And peep the wordplay that Peter used. Think about what Peter said. You understand? Go ahead. What you get? Go ahead. You want to go ahead? Go ahead.
Because I know you was going to say it.
Go ahead. You got it, man.
In Peter's mind, 7 was too much.
7 was too much.
Like in Peter's mind, it's like, till 7 times? Like, I'm supposed to forgive him 7 times? So that makes what Christ is about to say even more like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. Plus, also what? Peter also said what? He said, how many times shall this man sin against me? Think about that. Think about if a brother step on your shoe, is he sinning? No. If a brother is late picking you up from work, is he sin against the Lord? No. If a brother, what else? If a brother say he gonna pay you back next Friday, but he got caught and something happened and he got robbed and he couldn't pay you back, is he sinning against the Lord? No, he not. But in Peter's mind, this nigga is sinning against me. He stepped on my shoe. That's a sin. He's sinning. How many times I let him sin? I told him to come pick me up for work. He didn't even come. I had to walk home. He's sinning against me. Hold on one second. He's sinning against me, Tabawan. He's sinning. How many times do I gotta let this nigga do this sin to me? He throwing the word sin out there as if what he did was the worst thing in the world. Right. This is Peter's mindset, right? This is what Peter is thinking. You understand? Keep reading. Let's see what Christ said. Hold your pull. I'm gonna come to you right now.
Verse 22. Yahushua saith unto him, I say unto thee, Slakia, I say not unto thee until 7 times.
He said not 7 times. Keep going.
But until 70 times 7.
Until 70 times 7, which means forever.
That's right.
Forever you have to forgive that brother, man. Every single time. Every single time you have to forgive that brother. This brother may come up to you and do something that's crazy. He may say something that's crazy, and if that brother hears you, if that brother says, Salakia, then guess what? You forgive him and you move. And then guess what? He gonna slip up and have too much to drink one night, and he gonna do something else. And then you gonna go to him and thee alone. He gonna say, Salakia, brother. And then you forgive him and you move. And you consistently endure him. You understand? You consistently suffer and allow that brother to be a brother to you because you are a brother to him. And that's the only way that we'll live.
So like, if I may,
and
with the, you know what I'm saying, as we've been taught in the truth is like, and forgiving your brother doesn't mean you be stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Salakia.
Forgiving your brother. So, okay, say my brother might have an issue with every time I leave some liquor around this nigga.
Mm-hmm.
He don't ask me for my, he just take my liquor and I don't see my liquor again.
Right.
Right. So he take my liquor. I forgive him. I leave it out there again. He take it again. I forgive him.
You do it again?
And then
you stupid.
Exactly. After that, guess what? He's still gonna be my brother. Still gonna love him. I ain't gonna treat him different because we squashed it. He came to me. I said, I came to him. He said, Salakia. I said, no sweat, brother. But my liquor will not be in front of that brother ever again. I'll offer him some from over here. But I ain't gonna leave my liquor right there. I'm not gonna put him in a position. I'm not gonna tempt him. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that I haven't forgiven him. I've forgiven him because I'm not bringing it up to him like, yeah, remember when you sinning. Now you're not doing what the Lord says.
Right. So let's just cut to the case. If I'm getting into it and my brothers is there and they leave me on stuck, ain't that a sin against me? If I gotta fight 11 cats and he was there and it would have been 2-on-11 and he leave me there?
Are you saying if you get into a physical altercation?
A physical altercation, whether I'm at camp, whether I'm at the club.
Well, that wouldn't happen at camp.
What goes down at camp? Kentucky 8 went down. It got
nobody left anybody there.
That was a good, but would it say one of them had left them? Isn't that a sin? Say one of them, it was a Kentucky 7 instead of a Kentucky 8.
It is a sin to be fearful, right? So that brother was scared for his life and left. Yeah, that would have been a sin on him, but that would have been between him and the Most High, right? You would be sinning by not forgiving him. Forgive that brother.
Consequences
forgive that brother. Now, be smart enough and understand this. Every brother is not a fighter. Maybe that should show you that this brother is not a fighter. I love this brother. This brother may be good with technical stuff. He may be good with drawing or writing stuff or making music, but this brother is not a fighter.
So like somebody left you to bleed. He left you to bleed.
That's fine. He could have did anything to you.
You might have died.
You might have died. You better forgive him.
He helped you from stop dying. All he had to do was just take one cat off.
You might, or he would have went in there and made shit worse. You don't know what the hell could have happened. He probably in his mind is like, let me get the hell up out of here, because if I get in there, something worse is gonna happen to everybody. Let me just move.
Oh my goodness!
You understand? The point is, you better forgive that brother. Forgive him. That don't mean go out with him in the same neighborhood and just him and you the next time. Like, I forgave you next time, but just don't do it again. Don't do that. But forgive that brother. Meaning you gonna go to him, you gonna be like, you know what, it's no sweat out. We lived, the Lord preserved our life. We good to go, no sweat.
So basically forgive your brother for anything he do.
I ain't say that.
So what is unforgivable that your brother can do?
There are certain things, right, in which the school, and when I say you, like, okay, for you personally, that's more of a counsel question. There are certain things in this earth that if a man does, then he will not be forgiven by the school. He will not be allowed to enter into the kingdom of heaven with us. He won't. There are certain things. However, you're talking about some of the most heinous acts. You're not talking about someone accidentally called you the B word or purposely called you the bitch word. You're not talking about you got into a scuffle with somebody or got into a physical altercation, which is a bad thing and does not ever happen in ISUPK and shouldn't and will not ever happen in here. But those are things that are bad, but you still got to forgive your brother, right? The things I'm talking about is murder, right? Rape, child molestation. Those are things that are not tolerated in the ISUPK. You understand? It will not be tolerated. And if you think that you understand, if you want to do those things and be forgiven and go to the Christian church, you want to be a child molester and let people forgive you and keep you inside the secrecy of the congregation, then go in the Christian church or the Catholic church and go be with them, because that's where rapists and murderers and drug dealers are allowed to linger. And here they're not. You can't be a drug dealer in here.
So basically forgive for everything except for the major things. But wisely, don't put yourself in the same position to where you will suffer that way again.
Yeah, don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. If you got a brother who has an alcohol problem, he's an alcoholic, and you see this from the first couple of times you're being with this brother, you would maybe stop doing what?
Drink water.
You would stop bringing alcohol around him. Why? Because you love that brother. Because you see that if I keep bringing alcohol to your house, you're going to keep having a problem, and then one day we're going to end up dead, right? So out of your brotherhood and your love for him, you're going to say, you know what, we could chill, we can hang out together, but let's just do it without drinking, man. Let's just watch the game and let's just eat chicken wings and chill without no alcohol involved. You understand? And then no sweat, you'll do it like that, and that's how you forgive your brother. If we did that in the ghettos of America, man, it'll be the best place to live on earth. If we knew how to just forgive each other, it'll be the best place to live on earth. The problem is that we don't know how. You understand? You have something else?
That's it.
Top of one. You didn't have another precept you were pulling?
Now it was a little bit kind of off topic, so
You sure?
Kind of.
We off that topic now. Oh no, we was it one more?
You talking about loyalty?
Loyalty.
So I had a precept for loyalty, but it's not quite the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if you want it.
You can pull it up.
Yeah. About dealing with brothers. It's the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 18. It says, servants, be subject to your masters with all fear.
With all what?
With all fear.
You gotta be subject to your master. Of course, all oppressors use this scripture to do what? He used this scripture to make us and enslaved us. You understand? But that was not what this was talking about. You understand? But this is talking about is rank and order. You understand? Right. Which is something that we've always had in the ISUPK. We've always had rank and order. I mean, not in ISUPK, in Israel. You understand? That's what we do, right? And what you got to understand is that there's going to be men who are above you in rank. Now, the rank that is set by Commander General Yohana in ISUPK was set up to make sure that there was order kept in the nation of Israel. Because if there was no order kept in the nation of Israel, we would just go disarray just like every other group that you've ever heard of, right? So, with that being said, if a man above you tells you to do something, what should you do? I know you know. I know Thabawan know, because he one of the best servants in the ISUPK. You understand? One of the best, hands down, since I've been in this troop that I've known. So I know that he knows. What should you do? If a man above you gives you an order to do something, what do you do?
Salaki. Depends on what he gives you. No, I'm just kidding. You follow the word, sir.
You do what he tells you to do, right? So let's say you driving in a vehicle, right? And a man above you calls you and say, pull over on the next exit at the first gas station. What do you do?
Pull that thing over.
Now, what if you don't like that gas station? Then what do you do?
Pull the thing over.
What if your baby mom work at that gas station and you really ain't trying to go there right now because you ain't trying to have no conversations? What do you do?
Just park behind you, sir.
You can say, Salakia, sir. This gas station is not in a good area. Mm-hmm. I'm not very comfortable going to this gas station. My baby mom's work there and I don't want no drama.
God.
And you leave it up to the men above you to say,
no sweat up. Then find another gas, whatever the nearest gas station other than that one is, go to that one.
Now, what if the brother says, you know, this is a bad gas station, my baby mom work here, you understand? But then the man above you say, no sweat, I pull over to the gas station. What do you do?
Con out of one con.
You pull over to the gas station now.
That's right.
Now, what if he say, now go into the gas station to grab a case of water and just walk out? I'll take care of it. What do you do? Hmm? Say what? No. Say what? La.
Right. Close.
This brother said like he was surprised.
Right.
That's funny. What do you if the first of all, if that brother is telling you to go in a gas station and steal some water, that is, for one, you're gonna go to jail. For two, that goes against God's law. That is a sin.
Right.
To do that. Brother, it's not to save nobody's life. You understand? If it's to save somebody's life, then the gas station clerk will be bringing the water out.
Right.
You do not follow an unlawful order. An order that is unlawful, you do not follow it. If a man says, hey, go get that pork and eat it, what you gonna do? Say con on con. What you gonna do?
How important is the constitutional law for us based on what God told us? Because we do know that the constitutional law, we would consider 3/5 of a human being. And every law that we got that got us a little bit of righteousness, we have to fight for. So how high do we hold the law in regards? Because I don't hold the law in high regard, sir.
Yeah, we don't hold it at all. But the point is that we follow God's law. Okay, and because of God's law says that we have to follow the law of the land, which means that we can't walk in the gas station and steal water. It's against the law. We can't do it. You can't walk into a bank and rob it because it's against the law. You can't do it. It's not legal. The ISUPK does not condone anything that is illegal at all whatsoever. Gotcha. You understand? But following orders is a thing that it takes a certain kind of man to be able to do. Not every brother is able to do this. You understand? Which is why not every brother is able to go through Hebrew Academy. It's a hard thing to do, to be able to just say con out of one con. Now, what if you're in a situation where your emotions are being played with? What if you in a high argument or something like that, and you mad and you mad as all hell and you feel like just breaking loose, and then a man above you gives you an order? What should you do? What should you do?
Follow the order. Follow
the order. You understand? Because what? The greatest leader is the greatest what? Servant. You understand? You want to be a leader in the ISUPK, then you have to become the best servant in this ISUPK. Otherwise, you won't know how men ought to serve. If you've never done it, how the hell are you going to tell somebody else to do it? Right. If you've never written reports, how the hell are you going to tell somebody else to write a report for you? If you ain't have to check in on Wednesday, how are you going to tell somebody else to check in on Wednesday?
That's right.
If you ain't swept the floors and vacuumed the carpets, how could you even feel comfortable telling somebody else to do it? How could you? You understand? Y'all brothers are in a great position. To be a young man and trooper, that is one of the best positions in the ISUPK, because you have an opportunity to learn everything that everybody in the school is learning without no damn responsibility. You don't have to do anything except learn how to serve. You just got to keep coming to class, keep learning, keep shutting yourself to the world, and keep serving. You understand? You should take this time and use it wisely. Don't rush into trying to gather rank. Don't rush in and trying to gather cities and zones and things and departments and things like that. Because once you get it, then you're gonna have to run it. You're gonna have to run it perfectly. And you think you ain't got, none of you brothers got checked before by a general, so y'all wouldn't understand. But you better take this time and use it wisely. Use this time to just learn and just grow up in the truth. Learn how to not be emotional. Learn how to follow orders. And learn that there is one phrase in this school that is your best friend. It'll save you from a lot of BS. Anybody read my mind?
Con out of one kind.
Con out of one kind will save you from a lot of BS. You understand? It's the most simplest thing that'll save you. You can be, guys, look, I'll tell you the truth. I be getting checked, cursed out, all kinds of hell bringing down on me. I'm just like, con on one kind at the end of every stop. Because I'm like, oh God, I'm in hell right now. I'm in it right now. Hey, con on one kind will save your life. It'll save your rank. It'll save your department.
Right.
Con on one kind, sir. Con on one kind, sir, in Salakia. Salakia, sir. Con on one kind. Salakia, sir. Con on one kind. Salakia, con on one kind. It won't happen again. Con on one kind, sir. Save your life. Instead of doing too much of what? Thinking.
Right.
Instead of thinking so damn much.
That's right.
You understand? We as
On Slack, sir.
good. No, go ahead.
I got to push if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to put you up.
Yeah. Well, they got them to do with thinking or just following orders?
Both.
Go on, you go ahead. There ain't no sweat.
Then I still got more to the first Peter.
Come on, let's get it on, man. What we got? Got a few more minutes.
Lock. If I could, sir, I could finish First Peter first.
Come on, yeah, go ahead. Come on. Rock out, man.
It's like First Peter chapter 2 and verse 18.
Mhm.
Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the froward.
Good night. Not only to the good and meaning, don't just pick the nigga who you like. Yeah, I like Officer so and so because he be chilling.
Right.
He be chilling. You know, he be asking us to do stuff sometime, but you know, he be like, yo, young man, you know, hey, if you could, Baba Kashal, you know, if it's possible, man, if you got time to, could you possibly just move the chairs for us? Don't say yeah. I follow his orders because he talked to me real smooth.
Right.
I like that. But then the brother who come in here and say, young man, get them goddamn chairs up quickly, right now. You should follow both of them orders the exact same way.
That's right.
You know what would have saved you? Count on one kind.
That's right.
Count on one kind. And you get them goddamn chairs up very quickly. Do it very fast. You understand? The only difference is that officer's being specific.
Right.
One is asking you get the chairs up. The other one's asking get them up fast. Just follow the order. You understand? You're going to have to deal with that. Learn how to deal with that. These are things that as a man, you must be taught. You understand? This is ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge.
That's right.
Learn how to deal with someone who's talking to you rough.
That's right.
Learn how to be a man.
That's right.
You understand? You get terrified and tetrified because a man raises his voice at you that you don't know what to do. Oh man, no, that nigga yell at me one more time, I'm gonna go back and be a homosexual in the world. Which is what you sound like. That man raised his voice at me one more time, I'm gonna go back and sell drugs and be a Christian in the world and bend over backwards for white people. That's what you sound like. So I don't know what else. I don't know what the ultimatum is. If the nigga yells his voice at you again, then what? What? What are you gonna do? Hold on one second. You gonna do what? He tells you to Shema 20 times. If you tell me to Shema one more time, I swear to God, you gonna what? You gonna go put on purple? I'll tell you where you can go. They right down the street. You can go to the Christian church, put on purple, sing, be homosexual, and blow rod for the rest of your life. However, in here, we say Khan on one Khan, a man who talking rough to you. You understand? Did you not know that you was in a room with barbarians? Did you not know that these was roughneck niggas before you came in here? Man, follow that order and stop being goddamn emotional, man.
Right.
You worried about how somebody talking to you. You should be worried about what he's saying, man. Listen to what he's telling you to do. Because I promise you, 10 times out of 10, a brother talk to you or too rough in here, he's not telling you something that's going to hurt you. Right. 10 times out of 10. Every single time a man give you an order in here, it's to make you better or to better the school. That's right. Just the truth. Yeah. And if you don't want to listen to us in here, then you'll go and be in some prison cell where they'll talk to you very rough. They'll talk to you real tough and you'll listen to them. They'll tell you to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because it's breakfast time and you'll listen to them. But you won't, hold on one second. But you won't listen to your brother because he's rough, because he raises his voice a little bit. Hey, look, if that's you, if you can't handle that, I don't know if you could war with me. That's not a type of brother that could war with me, man. You understand what you got?
It's like sorry, yelling is not because it's not rough. Yelling at somebody is not rough. Really, that's like the best way to get through to any kind of man. That's how they do it anywhere else in the gang world, in the military world. Yelling at somebody is not considered rough.
Hey, no sweat.
Rough it is when you're doing something to degrade somebody in the context of when you're talking to them, or you do something to either degrade them or you do something to make them feel less than in the company of someone else. Like if I got Tabawan over here and he's underneath me and there's somebody over there and I'm talking to him a certain way to impress that person. You feel me? But rough, there is no really rough. You know what I mean? You can tell somebody order, however, as long as you're not disrespecting them or you're not trying to impress somebody else. You feel me?
Either way, follow the order. Point is either way, you're going to have to follow that man. You understand? Nobody telling you that every man above you is going to be absolutely perfect with butterflies and rainbows over him. However, that man is over you, then that's the man that you have to listen to. Then that's it. Nobody cares. You think Moses gave a damn about the people who decided to not stand with him? Nobody cared. The Levitical priest went and did what? We just read it. They killed him. So you don't want to follow an order because somebody's rough or yells at you or whatever the case may be. No sweat. You understand? However, don't be a bitch about it. You understand? You got a problem with somebody, then you go to he and the alone, and then you forgive that brother and you move on. And so on for that brother as well, who you take into counsel or you speaking to him alone. And that's the only way we'll work. It's the only way we'll be able to coincide in this world. Like, you gotta understand, we dealing with niggas in here. Niggas are the tribe of Judah. We're a bunch of lions and Benjamin, the fucking wolves. We're a bunch of lions and wolves in one place trying to gather together. You're going to have altercations. You're going to have alts. It's going to happen. The problem is that black people don't know how to deal with it. Tabawan, go ahead.
Salaki, I forgot my point. So
Salaki.
Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Who go ahead? Me?
Go ahead.
How many times in the past did other tribes argue and it escalated into murder?
All the time.
That's what I was trying to say. I knew it because niggas don't know how to argue right. Niggas do not know how to argue right. They do not know how to listen. They're not rational. They don't know how to use their logical and deal with the fucking, especially in today's time. If you wasn't raised that way, it's a lock here. If they wasn't raised on how to deal with listening to one another and coming to a logical decision, then they're not gonna know. Period.
Well, in here, we don't learn how to argue with each other in the correct way. We learn how to solve disputes with each other. We know how to be brothers to one another, whether we have an argument or we never argue. You understand? And that's what the practical knowledge in this is. It's practicality for your life, so that you take outside of these doors and you use it. You apply it to your life. So when you go into the streets, when you go into a club or a bar with somebody that you do not know, that is not in the truth, you can use what you was taught in the truth and apply it to the truth, and it can save your life. You understand? The things that we are taught are the tools that will save our lives in the world.
That's right.
Like what? Wear your fucking seatbelt. Don't sell drugs. Salakia. Don't sell drugs. You understand? Don't be quick to anger.
Right.
You understand? The things that you're taught in here is what will save your life. You'll find yourself in a bar with some brother bumping into you, and in the world, your worldly carnal mind would think, well, this dude got a problem with me. Let me take it to him. But of course, Commander General Yohana ain't teach us to be that way. Commander General Yohana in the Bible teaches us to do what? Be slow to anger. So you might find yourself going to that brother and say, hey, man, man, you bumped into me, man. And you never know. The brother might turn around and be like, oh, my bad, yo, I wasn't trying to, man. And then you got a friend for life. You done got a friend. Every time you go to the club, he gonna remember you and he gonna do this. Every single time. And now you got somebody watching your back. Now you got somebody on your side. You've gained a friend because you wasn't such an idiot. Because you wasn't such a hothead idiot that has to go and tote guns and fight everybody who he believes sins against him. You understand? You use what we're taught in here and apply it to your life, and imagine the things we could do if everyone did it. Imagine the brotherhood we would have if everyone did it. Imagine going to the biggest club you've ever went to, and it's the most popping club in New York City. But you go in there, and every brother in there is in the ISUPK. Can you imagine how life would be? Can you imagine how the women would act? Do you think that women would be sleeping with this brother, but in there talking to another brother? No. How could she? How could she? How could a woman messing with him come and try to talk to me? Bitch, I'm gonna curse her out. I'm gonna curse her out and blaze on her right then and there and say you. And I'm gonna probably carry her by a collar like, yo, top of wine. Hey, she tripping out, yo. Drop her. I'm just playing, of course. You understand? But that of course nobody messing with top of wine would ever do anything like that. Because this brother is tremendous in everything that he does, and he deserves nothing but the best type of women on the face of the planet Earth. Okay, you understand? Go ahead, man. What you got?
That's Salaki. So, Salaki, what you saying is so heavy, brother. And if somebody don't believe it, all they gotta do is pull up to the ISUPK Passover.
Most High in Christ.
That's all you gotta do is pull up to the Passover. Because you never seen nothing like that in your life. I never seen it. And I'm not even from the hood. I never seen it like that in my life. I remember, you probably don't remember. You probably remember this.
What was that?
You remember I don't know if it was right after we graduated from the academy or it was the day. I think it was right after we graduated. We was in the hotel in the lobby. Niggas was rolling dice. Remember that?
Yeah.
It got a little, you know what I'm saying, a little hectic.
There's money
involved.
involved.
No money involved.
Yeah.
Brothers roll dice. And in my mind, while I'm watching this go on, I'm like, there is a 10 out of 10 chance that if this was not happening in this hotel with a bunch of brothers in the ISUPK, there is a 10 out of 10 chance someone would have got shot.
They would have killed each other.
I'm certain. Like if this was not UPK brothers and it was not in this hotel for the Lord's Passover, someone would have pulled out a gun and shot somebody. But in here, no matter how much little bicker, we gonna resolve it, and it'll never come to that. Salaki,
because we ain't got no other choice too. Because we don't have free what? We don't have free will. You don't have no other choice. You understand? You don't have the choice to hate your brother in here. You don't. You don't. If you believe that you can hate your brother forever and hate him and be mad at him and look at him sideways and say, man, I don't know. I don't mess with that brother right there like that, man. Yeah. No, Tabawan I'm cool with. Tabawan I'm cool with. But that other nigga right there, no, I don't mess with him. If you believe that you could do that in here, you best just get your bag and get to stepping. Because that's not what we can do in here. You understand? We don't live that way in here. You understand? You got a problem with a brother, you go to he and thee alone, you forgive that brother. If you can't resolve that issue between each other, then go to council. You take it to council. If you don't hear him in council, then it'll go to a major council, and then no sweat. The Lord be with you if you don't hear it then. You understand? But that's how we do things here, young man.
Allah. So my question is there a scripture that's a scripture that I could use amongst my brothers to make their word be their bond? Like you say what you do and you do what you say. You know what I mean? Is there any scripture that we use as a commandment that's like your word is your bond?
You gotta
go ahead, take your time, sir.
You depends on in the spirit of what you're trying to ask. What are you saying? Like if I say Tabawan, be at my house at 10 o'clock in the morning, and he says come, but then he's not there.
Yeah, anything where you're meant, because what I'm trying to figure out is how powerful is the word of the Israelites when we say something and we do it and we actually do it.
What do you mean? And we actually do it?
Meaning that if I say that I'm gonna do this, what are the chances that it's gonna happen? What is the reliability of my brotherhood? What is the reliability of my brotherhood when they say what accountability do they have when they don't do it? You see what I'm saying?
When you come into the ISUPK, when first of all, for those going through Hebrew Academy, they'll learn this very shortly. But being the best officer, right? Being a good officer in this school, you have to be what?
Like so, dependable, reliable, and predictable.
Dependable, reliable, and predictable.
That sounds lovely.
But that's how you become a great officer, right? In this school. That means you have to be able to do those three things, right? So yeah, for brother say he's going to do something, he should do it, right? Or if he can't do it, he should communicate that he cannot no longer do it. You understand? But these are the things that you will be taught. These are the things that you will be taught how to do in this school. You don't just wake up one day and become the greatest officer in the world. It doesn't happen like that. You don't wake up one day and become the greatest trooper in the world. You're going to have to go through growing pains of shedding yourself from the world. You understand? And so you have to do what? Knowing that. Give your brother the opportunity to shed himself. You understand? None of us are perfect. None of us understand what it means to fully be an Israelite. None of us. We are merely waking up out of our bed and wiping the crust out of our eyes as to what it means to be a true Israelite, as the biblical prophecies have said. And so because of that, we have to understand what? I have to give you time. The same way Tabawan has to deal with me, I have to deal with him. The things that I may do to him that he has to suffer, the things that he may do to me that I would have to suffer, because I'm not there yet. He's not there yet. The men around you are not there yet. We are all fighting. Every day we're fighting. We're fighting the world. We're fighting temptation. We're fighting lust. We're fighting desires. We're fighting slaveries. We're fighting our wives. We're fighting our own goddamn children to be better, to be righteous men in the ISUPK. And every day it is a fight. And so if a brother does something to you, you should understand what? What should you understand first before you condemn that brother?
Shalaki, that he's supposed to be dependable, predictable, and reliable.
No, that brother should know that, but what should you say?
You got to forgive him for everything besides raping somebody or doing some.
Why?
Because that's what the Most High said.
Because you should be dead yourself. Because you should be dead. If I can't forgive this brother for what? Because he did something to me, I should be dead already. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't have made it to 21. The things that I've done, the people that I've hurt, the people I've lied to, the people I've stolen from, I should be dead. I shouldn't be here. There are people who have died for doing less than me. There are people like Trayvon Martin who died for doing less than what I did. There's people like George Floyd who is dead for doing less than what I've done. There's 5-year-old kids who is dead. They ain't do what I've done. There are babies who don't even get a chance to breathe outside of their mother's womb. And they ain't sin like how I've sinned.
So you're saying,
hold on. There are people in this earth all around us who have done less than what we have done, but yet the Lord chose us to be here. You have to keep that in consideration, because the second that you start thinking that everybody else is wrong, but you're the one that's right, brother, is a second that you could never be dependable, predictable, reliable. It's a second you'll be worthless in here, because you don't even understand the most beautiful part of being in the school. Is that no matter how much we say Israelites are royalty and that the Lord chooses us and that we're special and we're precious unto the Lord, is that when it comes to our brothers and us being around our brothers and our nation, me specifically is worthless when it comes to them. Me specifically don't mean a damn thing when it comes to you, brothers. I mean nothing when it comes to you. And so without having that mindset, you can't be dependable, predictable, reliable. You can't be an officer in ISUPK if you believe everyone else around you is the one that is messing up or or doing, you know, whatever the hell you saying that they doing. You got to look at yourself first. And you got to say, what am I doing first? You understand? Because then maybe you'll realize that you need to go to that brother. Maybe you need to go to he and thee alone. Maybe you need to deal with him alone, right? Figure out what the problem is.
So like,
you understand? Hold on, right? And then that's how we begin to grow as a nation. That's how you begin to grow that new kingdom that's within you. That's how you'll gain a brother. That's the only way you'll do it. You understand? Go ahead.
But niggas lack discipline, sir.
Who?
Judah. Nigga, they lack discipline like
Brother.
I've been around y'all my life.
You see what you just said again?
Banyamin too, and them goddamn fucking Levi's too.
You see what you just said? Hold on, Tabawan.
Salakia.
You said Salakia, right? But who lacks discipline? How
They do.
many times did the brother had to tell you watch your language?
You too.
Yeah. But look at you, right?
All three of us.
Think about it. Just take a second to think. Think about who lacks discipline. We all lack discipline. So how can we ever point the finger at anyone? How could I ever say, oh, this brother right here lacks discipline, if I lack discipline too?
Then it's up to us to strengthen each other's discipline. That's what it is.
It's up to you to strengthen your discipline.
Their discipline too.
You don't strengthen their discipline.
What? Iron sharpens iron.
You're not in position to strengthen anyone's discipline. I'm speaking of you young men, y'all to strengthen your own discipline right now by coming to class. That's it. All you do is come to class, learn the scriptures, and you work on the things that you're being taught at home. Now, of course, there are things like Hebrew Academy, once you get into it, where a brother will help you in the reformation of your minds and the strengthening of your discipline and things like that. However, you understand, that's for those who is in Hebrew Academy.
So young men can't strengthen anyone's discipline who's overranking them.
No, you can't do anything to somebody who's over you. How would you even fit? I couldn't even fathom the idea of changing something about somebody who is above me. He's above me. Do you know the work that this brother has had to put in? Do you know? Look at the school that you've been in. You understand? Like, here's what you got to understand. Before you decide to go and discipline or change something about a brother above you, look around you and then go duplicate it before you try to change them.
Salakia, sir. It's wrong, and right is right.
Wrong is wrong and right is right.
Right. When someone is wrong, isn't it up to somebody else to help them get right if they can't get it themselves?
You can. The only thing that you could do for a man above you is to go to him like a father. If you see a man and you in the house of a brother, he's a rank outranks you or whatever, and you go in there and you go upstairs because you about to ask him something, and you crack through the door a little bit because it was open, and you see that he in there watching pornography on his laptop. What do? How do you deal with that situation, knowing that pornography is a sin? Let me take it off that, right? Let me take it off that. Let's say you see him in there smoking an e-cigarette in his room, and you see the smoke, and you're like, what's Officer so-and-so doing? What do you do? And you a young man. You a trooper. You officer 50. He outranks you. What do you do?
Salaki,
let him try first.
Number one, you wrong for invading the brother's privacy. Number two, if you get caught doing something like that, it's up to you to strengthen him.
So how would you strengthen him?
You tell him, man, you leave me a bad example of what it is. You're supposed to be above me. You remind him of his honor, his royalty, his integrity, everything. Just a reminder. Iron sharpens iron. Remind the brother of what we stand for, so he can set the example for you.
That wasn't as bad as an answer I thought you was gonna give. All right, Tabawan, what was you gonna say?
If I may, and I'm just speaking from what I've been taught.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you go to him as a father,
mm-hmm.
because I can't talk to you about your position
mm-hmm.
and your rank and your royalty and authority
mm-hmm.
if I don't respect it.
Right.
If I come to you, you watching pornography or you smoking an e-cigarette, and I come in, I'm turning over tables, and I say, "What the you doing up? you what the hell is?" I start bugging out. Not only am I embarrassing you, I'm completely diminishing your authority. After that, you gonna go back to being my Ottawa after I didn't talk to you like that?
No, absolutely.
Salaki, no. The best thing for me to do is to remind you, like you said, brother's correct, to remind you of your position and authority by reminding you, saying, Salakia Adawan, Salakia, sir. I saw something and you didn't teach me it was okay to do that.
Right.
Okay.
So
Right.
I'm not sure how to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You told me that's not tawab, that's a sin, sir.
Right.
Exactly.
So
And now I'm gonna play the other one. What did you see? What did you see?
Salaki, so I saw you smoking the e-cigarette watching what appeared to be
Bro,
pornography.
so where you see that at?
When I walked into the room the other day, sir.
Why would you walk into my room, Ak? Did I tell? Hold on, Shema. Did I tell you that you could walk into my room, Ak?
Sir.
Okay, so why would you walk into my room?
Salaki, so I was trying to get your attention, sir.
Attention for what, Ak?
Someone was at the front door, sir.
Okay, Ak, you couldn't have given me a phone call or something, Ak?
Salaki, so I knocked, but you had headphones on, sir.
Ak, that don't make no sense, Ak. That just don't make no sense. You ain't have no right to be walking into my house, Ak.
Sir.
You understand? Walking through I inviting you into my house and you just
Sir.
walking through my house. You understand? Like that's stupid, man. Like what the hell is wrong with you, man?
Sir.
You understand? Understand? So what?
Salaki, but I saw you doing these things that you taught me we're not supposed to do.
All right, don't worry about that, Ak. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, Ak. Just forget about it.
Counsel.
All right?
Counsel. Salaki, so I'm about to take a counsel for that.
There you go.
You go to counsel. It's simple. You understand? There was a very valid point in where he says that when you respect that man's authority, you respect him as a father. Regardless of his age, regardless of what he looks like, regardless of his tribe, you respect him as a father because he's done something that you're trying to do. You understand? And so when you do that, you don't want to embarrass him that way. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt to then say, Salakia, brother, you know, I've been dealing with this. You're right. I'm messing up and I need to check this. You understand? And like a father. Now, what was so different, right? What bridged the difference between Ham, Shem, and Japheth? This goes along with this. What did Ham and Japheth? It was just Ham? What did Ham do to his father that he shouldn't have did?
Salakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
He ridiculed him.
Yeah.
He embarrassed him.
He embarrassed his own father.
Salaki, sir, how do you embarrass somebody by being ridiculed when ridicule is what makes you strong? That's the kid. That's what reminds you of who you are, what you stand for. It's like
Noah was overly drunk. And he was so drunk that he was naked, literally naked, butt naked, nothing on. And Ham came and looked at his father's nakedness and laughed. He laughed at his father being naked, which is funny because
I don't understand what's funny, sir. That don't sound pretty funny.
It's funny because Ham is the progenitor of the Africans, and Africans worship Rod. So Ham probably dead ass thought it was funny to see some Rod out there.
Right.
That's what Africans do. They worship Rod, no sweat. But he looked at his father's nakedness, laughed, and then went and told Shem and Japheth, like, yo, come look at nigga, look at Pops. Nigga's butt naked. Come look at him. Of course, Shem and Japheth, having some goddamn integrity, walked in backwards with a blanket and covered their father up and put him in the bed. You understand? But of course, Noah was wrong. He shouldn't have been so damn drunk that he was butt naked. But Ham got cursed because of that. You understand? Ham got punished because of what he did. Because that's not, you don't want to like, and I'm just using that as an example, right? That has nothing to do with what we talking about. What we talking about is what we doing here in Isupk, right? What the Lord has taught us to do. But you don't want to embarrass your father in that way. You understand? Like that's just something that we just don't do here. So like he said, that man is above you. You see him doing something, you say, Salakia, sir, can I holler at you? Khan, what's going on? Hey, Salakia, sir, I happened to see this. And you understand, that's not what we was taught. You didn't teach me that, sir, to do this. And you understand, yada yada yada. I feel like that's, you understand, I feel like you better than this, sir. You better than this. And he may say, you know what, Salakia, brother, you right, I'm wrong. I'm gonna throw it away right now. And he throws it away. Guess what? Done. It's deaded, right? It's done. You don't got to go tell nobody else, hey, One, man, guess what? I seen Cap smoking. You don't need to do that. It's done. Now, if he doesn't hear you, then you got to take it to council. You call the next highest ranking man up. If the highest ranking captain of 13,000 is your captain and you see him doing that, then you got to call the general. You got to call the general above him. You understand? If you see a general doing it, you got to call the next highest ranking general above him. You understand what you got?
Should a man who's above another man feel embarrassed when he's being corrected for his fault? If you already said that all of us are fuck ups, since all of us are bound to make mistakes, then how could one feel that he has to protect his position?
That's a Christian way of thinking. All of us are not bound to make mistakes. And
no. I'm saying, Salaki. I'm saying, if I'm above someone else and I make a mistake and that person corrects me, why should I feel embarrassed,
brother? Because first of all, a brother below you cannot correct you. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you.
Reminds you. So
yeah. I mean, a brother may feel embarrassed or he may not. The point is, he may be embarrassed because he's held to a higher standard.
But what? But what I'm getting at, I'm gonna be direct with you. That embarrassment comes from his arrogance of thinking that he cannot make mistakes.
That's not arrogant. That's not arrogant.
No, your embarrassment comes from ego.
But that's not arrogant.
You're telling
me, I believe that I should not make a mistake.
So if you're embarrassed because you make a mistake, you're telling me that's not your ego?
Good.
Lucky, if I may, sir. The embarrassment might simply be from this brother he might have been smoking that e-cigarette for 6 months. Right. He might have been watching pornography for a year and never got caught because, again, he hid it so well. Right. Then one day he gets caught. It's embarrassing, not because of who he is. It's embarrassing because he tried to hide it. It was something he didn't want anyone to see, and now people see it. And it's like being caught naked or something. I mean, it may not actually be his, his position.
The reason he feel embarrassed about it is because it embarrasses his pride, his self-pride. It embarrasses him. He been doing it for 6 months, and the reason that he's embarrassed by it is not that it's not that he was doing it. It's him getting caught that embarrasses him. Not him doing it himself. He don't feel it's him getting caught.
Right.
That is a jab at your ego. I've been caught. Oh snap.
Right. So he's embarrassed.
Ego.
He's embarrassed. That's it. So either way, he's still embarrassed because he got caught doing something he shouldn't have done. Right. However, that young man cannot check the man that's above him. He can only say that you did not teach us this as a father and leave it up to the council to check him if it needs be. Now, if a man is below you in rank, then you can correct him. You can check him all day because that's your rank. You understand? That's your job, is to correct the men below you. That is the rank and order of the school. It's how we do things. It's how we live our life. That's just the order of it. It makes things simple. This man is above me. I cannot give him an order. I cannot correct him. This man is below me. My job is to correct him. I can give him a righteous order if need be.
I agree.
That's it. Simple. All right. And then we can continue to live and continue to do whatever we need to do together. You understand? However, whenever we do anything, we always realize that we ain't worth nothing. You understand? My life is worthless. You understand? When it comes to being in this truth, you understand? Because I have not done enough. The second that you believe that you're actually somebody is when the Lord will show you exactly how much of nothing that you actually are. He'll show you how replaceable you are. You understand? And that's life.
So, like when you say that's what confuses me. Like I didn't grow up in the church. And I didn't grow up in the scriptures. When you say that we're absolutely nothing, you mean in the context that because of everything we've done, all the sinful things that we've done don't equate up to all the great things that we have done as far as statues and laws.
No, in the Christian church, they do not teach this at all. In the Christian church, they believe that they're everything.
Why do you say that we're absolutely nothing? Because we're already told we're nothing by our women, by society, by the police, by the government, by our schools that we go to school at. So then we have to accept it from the Most High that we're nothing to?
The Lord didn't say that. I'm telling you that we're nothing so that you know that the men around you are more valuable than you. You believe that I believe when we go out of this room that my life is worthless and your life is everything.
I don't understand that.
Your life means more than mine. So I will take a bullet for you to save your life rather than to save my own.
And why is that, Salakia?
Because your life is more valuable than mine.
That's right.
Because of what?
Because you're my brother. That's why. Not because of what you've done or because of the rank that you have, but because you're my brother and I will die for you. Because my life is worthless and yours means everything.
Salakia, so in ISUPK, that sounds wonderful in our military, but in the world, we can't be like that.
We're not in the world, Doc. What you think I'm about to go out here and see some drug dealer getting arrested and say, that's my brother, George?
Okay.
Hell no, you got to be one stupid nigga to think that that's what's about to happen. Hell no, you better stop selling drugs and come up in here first. I ain't charging that no count for that. You understand?
Gotcha.
No.
So only for the brothers.
Doc, where do you think you at?
Yeah, I was just making sure.
Man, this is for the ISUPK, the home of the truth.
Right,
These brothers that's worn in black, you understand? That's what that is for, man. That's how you treat your brothers in here, man. You understand? Also now, but you can always take that mentality and you can take it into the world, but don't be an idiot. You understand? You may see a brother and say, you know what, man, I ain't gonna be too, this don't be stupid. All right. With that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Peace and Officer Tabawan. Okay, we way over the time.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 to 21 and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation will be the Feast of Hanukkah, which translates into Hebrew as the dedication. The Feast of Dedication is going down November 28th. More than likely, it will be held right here if you're in North Carolina area, held right here at the Durham School, 2534 South Roxborough Street, Durham. You know what I'm saying? Want to remind Akim and Akwathin to check on social media, such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. The next cookout, you know what I'm saying, going to be close to this brother's neck of the woods. You know what I'm saying? We're going to the West Coast. The West Coast, you know what I'm saying? We're going out to Vegas. Vegas is the next UPK cookout. Is going down next month in November. I can't remember the exact date, but y'all better get y'all affairs in order, get your flights ready, get your hotels ready, get your everything ready. We're going to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Of course, a reminder, the Florida cookout has been canceled, but it's okay because we're going to the Passover in Florida. Cocoa Beach. Good night. You know what I'm saying? So we got many events coming up. We got the West Coast cookout coming up. Got the Passover's been prepared. You want to prepare for that as well? Yes, please.
I found flights right now for $67 round trip from here to
Must be Spirit, right?
Frontier, one of the two.
Yeah, no sweat.
Hey, if you ain't scared,
No sweat, brother.
planes.
No sweat. Salakia, if a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, imadium, which means to stand. Come on.